Arguably the most important part of a lesson is the introduction. This is where you can capture your students and really make them pay attention and listen. Today's video is all about looking at different ways of introducing a lesson. The actual lesson, not really important, is using the past continuous along with the past simple. The first introduction you're going to see is a very traditional introduction, presentation of grammar in a formal, standard, usual, uninspiring way. This is what happens. Today I'm going to talk about the past continuous along with the past simple. We use the past continuous, I was walking, if you remember from last week's lesson, when we talk about events taking place in the past that happen for a long time. I was walking. She was doing her homework. They were watching television. Plus when? Plus the past simple. The past simple, you know, an event that starts and happens and finishes in the past discreetly. I heard the song. We went to France. They called their telephone. When we put these together, we denote an action that takes place over a period of time interrupted by a single event. I was working for a long time when, bam, the bell rang. A single event which interrupts the longer action. As you've just seen, that introduction was uninspiring. The students weren't really involved. They were sitting in the class listening to the teacher. They weren't interacting with the teacher, they weren't involved in the grammar, they were just receptacles and they weren't interested. And your students won't be interested if you do that approach. The second lesson is slightly different in that the teacher is getting the students involved right from the word go. There's no long explanation about what is going to happen, no long explanation about the grammar being presented. In fact, the grammar, as you'll see, is presented under the counter, as it were. It's presented as part of how the students use the language, not just as a separate, discrete item. Take a look at this one. This is my camera, and yesterday I went around the school and I took a load of photographs. I've got the photographs here. I would like you to tell me what was happening when I took these photographs. Here's the first one. The boys were sleeping. Here's the second one. Yes, it's you, Maria. Maria was drinking. The third one. Excellent. The children were playing football. What about this? Excellent. Jane was reading. What about this picture? And this is you. Yes, Sue, this is you. Sue was telephoning her friend. Look at this next picture. What about this photograph? When I was taking photographs, the fire bell rang. What was going on when the fire bell rang? What were the children doing? Good. The children were playing football when the fire bell rang. When you present a lesson, the most important part of that lesson, arguably, is the introduction. Make it interesting. It doesn't matter how you do this, but make it different from just you standing there talking. For example, present a picture. Ask a question. Get the students involved from the word go. It doesn't really matter what the lesson is about. It doesn't matter what grammar item you're teaching, what vocabulary you're teaching. None of that matters. What's important is that students are involved from the word go and that they are using language and that the students are speaking. For every word that you say, the students should be saying 10 times more. After all, you know how to speak English. You don't need practice speaking English. Your students don't know how to speak English. They need the practice.